The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. Josh LeMaster here. I'm co-founder and chief financial officer of Perfect Golf Event. I appreciate everyone taking a little time. It's a chilly Thursday morning here in Northeast Florida. Might get our first bout of snow in years, so kind of interesting times in the weather. But I thought I'd just take a minute here. I'm gonna be introducing Eric with Vortex Weather Insurance, who's going to be presenting some things today. But just putting a little bit of perspective on Perfect Golf Event and why we've partnered with Vortex related to specifically to rain insurance. We're in our 11th season now. We've worked with tens of thousands of events all around the country, and always trying to find opportunities that mitigate their risk, for whether it's their fundraising effort or even if it's just an entertainment effort. But usually it's mitigating the risk of losing those fundraising opportunities by having a rain event. And you can do that somewhat with having some rain dates. And maybe for some events, event cancellation insurance would work, but we found that event cancellation insurance was a little bit tedious for most of our event organizers. So in looking for alternatives, we've gotten to know Vortex for the last several years. We've partnered with Vortex and are just intrigued and continue to be more intrigued by the products that they offer at a very reasonable price to protect an event from rain. So all that said, just a little housekeeping. I will send out a copy of everything that you're seeing by email, and you'll have my email, you'll have Eric's email and contact information. You'll get a video of everything from today, along with the PDF of the presentation and a few other links that might be helpful. And if we can answer any questions, we'll do that at the end here. We'll save a few minutes. I'll be watching the chat, and if you raise your hand, I'll reach out to you on the dashboard that you should see on your screen. Anyway, so Eric, thank you for being here, and I'll let you take over.
Thanks so much, Josh. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending today, webinar number 1 out of 17 for 2025. Very excited to have a very large group on today, and even more excited to continue our partnership with Josh, Perfect Golf Event. This will be our 4th year, and it's going strong. We're very excited. Throughout the presentation, it's going to be about 20 minutes, and you can ask questions at the end. But I want you to think about your tournament, whether you're a first-time organizer or you've been running your event for 5, 10, 15 years, and the impact of rain, potential rain. Whether you're rained out, you have a little bit of rain where people leave, they don't spend the kind of money that you're expecting, and everything in between. The goal is to educate everyone on the call, to give you a basic understanding of what we provide. And then ultimately at the end, I'd like to price up your event. I'd like to send you some quotes and help you understand how to properly mitigate the risk so your event is perfect in terms of hitting your targets. So with that being said, very excited to have everybody on, and we'll get into it now. So we like to say, don't let bad weather slice into your club's bottom line. You can't predict the weather, but you can help protect your business from it. There's a myth that insurance agencies don't know weather. It turns out we are weather nerds. Our team has over 100 years of combined experience in the weather risk management industry, and we've been helping protect events since 2008 using data-driven policies that mitigate risk. A little bit about us. We are a subsidiary of MSI Guaranteed Weather in Kansas City. They've been in the weather risk management industry for more than a quarter century, and since 2008, Vortex has specialized in insurance products for outdoor events, fairs, festivals, concerts, jumpy castles, weddings, lacrosse tournaments, you name it. And in 2019, we basically started offering protection for golf tournaments, golf properties, everything around the golf space. And I'm going to get into how that works in a second here. But we're also asked, I'm asked every single day, who's our carrier? And it's our basically our owner, Mitsui Sumitomo, and we are rated A+ best. They are our paper. So this is a picture of me. I am the director of sales nationally for golf. I've been in the weather derivative space for over 25 years now. I play golf professionally. I still play a lot. I worked in the space at Augusta National. I played in tournaments. I run tournaments. So I know the pain points, whether you're a first-time organizer or all the way up to the PGA Tour, which is a customer that I help write policies for. So I can help you understand the kinds of things that you need to protect in running your tournament. So here's a myth. In the golf business, you can't fight Mother Nature. We say not so fast. You can stand up to Mother Nature and help protect your revenue with Vortex. Across the country, savvy golf course operators and event organizers are using rain insurance as a risk management hedge protection. Rain insurance as a hedge, okay? All the different kinds of ways that we can help. Anticipated heavy play periods, we can go a lot deeper into seasonal monthly hedges, Monday golf outings, holiday weekends, members, member guests. I know a lot of you on this call today are involved in many of these kinds of things. So whether it's just a one-day event, multi-day event, you have 10 events through the year, we can help. So we always like to think about what is at risk when you're running, these tournaments, pro-ams, member guests, corporate outings, the play-related revenue that fall into all of these types of events, okay? Because they're all the same and they're all different, right? Food and bev and alcohol, huge driver, merchandise. So we also write for, like I said, the PGA Tour, and we help them mitigate the risk. But as an example, the PGA show, which is in Orlando next week, the demo day, which is on Tuesday, they buy from us every single year. Looks like they're going to experience some rain next Tuesday, so they might have a triggering event. But again, we do outdoor weddings, receptions, holiday events. Think people on this call that are at country clubs. We can help with other events that you have at your club as well. Very important slide here. So rain insurance versus property casualty insurance. The chance of sustaining an adverse rain occurrence for a golf event is significantly greater compared to traditional P&C events. So here's the chance of a potential insurance claim on a single day over a 20-year period. Very low, hopefully, right? And then if you look at this slide, rain insurance versus P&C insurance as a comparison, here's the chance of 1/4 of an inch of rain falling on any single day. This is just between June and August. So it's significantly greater. So when I help all of you price your event, I can show you the historical data at your location, say going back 5, 10, or 15 years, in and around the dates, the hourly aggregation of the rain. I will help you understand this. I can share this with you when we're pricing up the different kinds of options for you to choose from. All right, so here's another myth, that rain insurance is complex. And the good news is Vortex makes it very simple. That's my job, to make sure that you understand it. And this is basically how it works. So rain insurance is parametric. What does that word mean? That means that rain insurance is triggered simply if recorded rainfall at your location meets or exceeds the threshold listed in the policy during the coverage period. This is another good, interesting, but very important bullet point. Proof of loss or event cancellation is not necessary for the policy to trigger and pay a claim. This is not indemnity, this is parametric. Okay, so at the end of a policy, we send you an expiration report. We get the data from the NOAA. We show you the hourly data. And if it does trigger, you're paid, and you're paid in 2 weeks or less. You're not going to get paid a month, 6 months, 9 months with an insurance adjuster to come in and look at this. We show you the data. If it triggers, you're paid. So again, how does rain insurance work? Okay, so this slide right here, Vortex uses stage 4 claim determination system. As of this January 1st, we are going to be switching to a new data set, a new and improved data set through WeatherWorks. And I'll share that information in a PDF, okay? But the data, okay, is basically, we come right down on top of your property. We don't take the data from an airport station that could be 5 miles or 10 miles away where you have basis risk in the reading, okay? The measurements are made right there on your property. So when you do receive the expiration report, you see the amount of rain that happened right at the golf course. Okay. So we sell policies basically triggering rainfall thresholds as low as 1/10 of an inch. We can go as high as an inch and a half. And we also provide recorded hourly precipitation measurements as little as 0.01 in the expiration reports. Policy options, the kinds of options that I'm going to send to you. Typically, events have shotguns. And that's where you say you have an 8 o'clock shotgun, everybody goes on the golf course on a different tee box, and everybody plays until the end. I usually price between 5 and 6 hour windows for the shotgun coverage, and I'll explain to you why in a second. Some events have double shotguns. I've run 2 policies for several days in one day, etc. Ladder coverage on the right there, and I'm going to show you how this works. Basically, it's step insurance where the more that it rains, the more that you're paid back. And I'll show you an example here in a second. Now, in the middle, extended hours. Okay, we always like to provide hours on the front end or even while you're sleeping. And just say you're going to have an 8 o'clock shotgun again. What happens if it rains from 3 o'clock in the morning until 8? Unless you're buying those hours, you're not covered. So depending on the type of policy that you have and the contract language at the golf course, it's important to understand whether you have the golf course for the day or your clientele, that, hey, you know, if we only get through 4 holes or 6 holes or 9 holes, understand that. So that'll be very helpful when I price this for you to see the extra premium on the hours when we create different kind of policy options. And then if you share that information with me, I could help you get the correct policy in place, just so you're not spending money on hours that don't matter. Okay, so the different kinds of options in the parametric process, the hours of coverage, hours can vary per day for multi-day events. I'm going to show you an example here in a second. If you have just say a gala the night before underneath a tent into, you know, your event, or your event finishes at cocktail hour and then it's outside and you want people to hopefully spend money at the auction, you can add hours through that as well. The rain thresholds, as I said, we can go as low as 0.10. We can go through an inch if you need that, for different kinds of protection options. The limits can vary by day. So when I price up your events personally, I'm going to show you how all this works as well. Okay, so the use of hourly data allows us to concentrate only on the hours when rainfall could negatively impact business operations. If you came to me and said, Eric, I only need you know, this amount, but I have this amount of budget. I understand budgets. I help people write policies every single day. And, you know, obviously we want to maximize protection, okay, with, you know, within the budgets that you have. And I've been doing this a very long time, and I can help you back into policies where it makes the most sense and it's within that budget that you're allowed to spend. So, so moving forward, this is a grid as an example that I could provide to you. So if you say, Eric, what's the last 5 or 10 years at my location? So here's an example of July in 2019 here at TPC around the corner from Josh and I. I could show you the hourly precipitation, and I can do this for several years. And then I could show you the probability, the amounts, if you can see on the right there, This is for a 1/2 inch, but I could show you the different kinds of ways where we can get as granular as you like. Okay, myth, rain insurance is too expensive. In reality, our team works for you to create a policy that fits your needs and budget. Okay, and how do we do that? We look at all the different kinds of factors. And rain insurance, as it says here, is priced using historical probabilities. Geographic location. Here where I am in Northeast Florida, it rains less in the winter than it does in the summer, okay? The time of day, it rains more in the afternoon than it does in the morning. And obviously the duration of the risk period has a lot to do with the cost, the amount insured, and I'm going to work with you so you can understand, the different ways that we can move the premiums around, the thresholds, etc. All right, so here's a pricing example down at PJ National. This is a 5-hour shotgun on $10,000. Yeah, so the first line on 1/5 of an inch of coverage within that window in February to cover $10,000, the premium would be $420. That means that if it were to rain as an aggregate of 0.20 or higher between 10 and 3, you would get paid the $10,000 in less than 2 weeks. Okay, so here's the ladder coverage or step insurance from 10 to 3. Again, this is at TPC around the corner. The premium for a $150,000 policy would be $34.71. In this pricing example, if it were to rain through 0.20 and not touch 0.33, you would get $15,000. If it were to rain through 0.33 and not touch 0.5, you would get $15,000 plus $45,000. So the more that it rains, the more that you're paid out. And obviously, if it went through 0.5, you get the full $150,000. So there's a lot of events that buy this kind of insurance. They can understand the metrics of the loss. So people continue to leave through the day because more rain continues to trigger. You're paid back the amount of money, okay, that you were expecting as a goal. Okay, so here's for those of you on the call that have member guests and members. Here's a group club in Mount Pleasant, north of Charleston, that buys several policies from me each year. This is 2023. You can see the coverage period on the left, different hours. They kept the threshold the same and the limit the same. Okay, the amount of money that you want to insure is up to you, whether you're trying to raise $5,000, $50,000, however much. What's fixed, what's floating, and I can help you understand that and give you different options, but they kept the limit for this term $36,000, $12,000 per day. Obviously, each coverage period is different, so we can get very creative for your tournament. So here's a sample payout. Pinnacle, they actually just bought not too long ago for their event. They had a policy in Ocala. The premium was less than $700. The rainfall was 0.33 or higher. It triggered and they got paid. They got a check for $25,000. As you can see, Gary wrote a very nice testimonial for us. We've done lots of policies for him since then. This is an example. So our professional relationships, we've worked with many PGA sections that all buy back from me throughout the year. PGA Magazine, I've done a lot of NFL alumni deals with them. Again, Rick Summers, he just bought for the demo day next week for the PGA show in Orlando. Folds of Honor continues to buy from us. Buffalo Group does all of our marketing. The Travelers at the PGA Tour up in Hartford, they just bought their 3rd year from us. They had a 6-digit payout this year that helped make up for their lost revenue. And the Dicks, which is about to do their 4th year. So here's some more of our testimonial pages with excited customers that have done a lot of policies with us. So as I conclude, Josh, are there any questions that I can help with before we finish today?
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, just a few on chat here, and I think you've covered these, so need to emphasize a few things. So one on timing, if you can address kind of how the pricing is impacted by how far in advance. I see some organizers on that have been with, their events much later in the year, and then some their events coming up pretty quickly. So maybe you can talk about timing a bit.
Yeah, no, great question. So for those of you who have tournaments that are right around the corner, we have to bind coverage 15 days in advance of your event. So that means that if you pay through credit card, the drop dead date is always 15 days. If that falls on a Saturday or Sunday, we must bind on the Friday before. For those of you budgeting, we're pricing up hundreds of events of renewals right now for the full year. I'm doing events all the way back to, or in front to December. So if you are budgeting with a committee or a group or a board, etc., and you need to see preliminary pricing for whatever time of year it is, just let me know and let me price up some options so you can have that. That pricing that I give you today or in the next couple of days, you have a 45-day lock on that the pricing will not change. The pricing can go up or down from when we reprice. It's not going to deviate much. It could be, if it's a large policy, it could deviate up or down, but not very much from the 45-day lock number.
Thanks, Eric. One other question by chat here, and this is probably somebody that's experienced event cancellation insurance before, but if you talk about what do they need to provide to Vortex in the event that they have rain or a claim?
Yeah, no, that's a great question as well. So that's the beauty of it. You really don't have to do anything. This is more about the amount of rain that falls at your location, which is recorded by the government, and we get that data within days. And so the hourly printout, we get and we share with our data analysts and our PhDs to make sure the data is correct. We provide that to you. It's an hourly, the whole country is being recorded by the government in all of the locations, okay? So where we are in Northeast Florida, where people are here on the call in Texas and New York and Michigan. We'll provide that to you. And if it does trigger, we're sending out a check immediately and you get it very, very quickly.
Eric, I think we've covered the questions. I see a few people jumped on, a little bit later in the session. So just a reminder, we will be sending out a recording and the attachment, everything you saw on the screen. So any questions after you check that out, you'll have Eric's contact information and mine, Josh, at Perfect Golf Event. So we really appreciate everybody being here today, and wish everybody the best of success with their 2025 events. And back to you, Eric.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Thank you, everyone who was who's been on the call, and even the people that just jumped on. Like Josh said, he's going to send you a recorded version of this and the PDF. So call me, email me, reach out to me. Let me price up your event for you so you can see some preliminary numbers. And if you have questions, just let me know how to help you. I look forward to working with you, and I hope you have a super successful 2025 with your event. And I should be here all afternoon, but if not, I will get back to you as soon as I can. So thanks very much for attending today. We'll speak with you soon.
Thanks all.